You've given your life to follow someone you believe is the Son of God. You've left your job, your home, your safety, because you're convinced he's the Messiah. You've seen him walk on water, and you walked with him. You've seen him feed thousands with just 5 loaves and 2 fish. You've promised him your loyalty until death. But one night, with danger closing in, fear grabs you by the throat, and before the sun rises, you've denied 3 times that you even know his name. Why did Peter, the most outspoken of the disciples, collapse under pressure? Was it cowardice or something much deeper? This is more than just a story about failure. It's about every believer's battle with fear, identity, and the fight to stand firm when it matters most. Today, we take a deep dive into one of the most heartbreaking moments in the Bible and uncover lessons that may change how you see your own walk with God. It's the night of Passover. The city is packed. Tension is in the air. Religious leaders have been plotting against Jesus for months. In an upstairs room, Jesus has just told his disciples that one of them will betray him. Confusion spreads around the table. Peter, always quick to speak, bursts out in Matthew 26, verse 33. "Even if all fall away on account of you, I never will." In Peter's mind, loyalty to Jesus wasn't a question, it was his identity. But Jesus looks at him with deep sadness and says, "Truly I tell you, before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times." To Peter, this must have felt impossible. He was ready to fight, even die for Jesus. But Jesus' warning wasn't meant to discourage him. It was meant to prepare him. Peter didn't yet realize how fragile courage can be when fear comes knocking. A few hours later, in the stillness of the Garden of Gethsemane, the sound of marching soldiers breaks the night. Judas arrives, leading a mob with swords and clubs. In that moment, Peter reacts with raw instinct. He draws his sword and swings at the nearest man, Malchus, the high priest's servant, slicing off his ear. Peter's ready to fight to the death, but then something unexpected happens. Jesus tells him to put the sword away. Instead of resisting, Jesus heals the man's ear and surrenders. This must have shaken Peter. The Messiah he thought would rise up against Rome was letting himself be taken like a criminal. Everything Peter thought he understood was slipping through his fingers. The soldiers lead Jesus to the high priest's house. Peter follows but not right beside him. Luke 22 verse 54 says, "Peter followed at a distance." That's a small but critical detail. Distance creates safety, but it also creates vulnerability. When we stop walking closely with Christ, we're more exposed to temptation and fear. At that moment, Peter was torn between love for Jesus and fear for his own life. He couldn't stay away, but he couldn't get too close either. In the courtyard, Peter tries to blend in. He sits near the fire surrounded by strangers. Inside the building, Jesus is being interrogated by the high priest. Outside, Peter's test is about to begin. A servant girl notices him. She peers closer and says, "You also were with Jesus of Galilee." In that split second, Peter's heart races. He could tell the truth, but that truth could mean arrest. So he plays dumb. "I don't know what you're talking about." That was denial number 1. Peter moves away from the fire, maybe hoping to avoid attention, but someone else spots him. This fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth. The pressure grows. In ancient Jerusalem, public accusation was dangerous. The crowd could turn on you instantly. So Peter swears an oath. "I don't know the man." Notice how his language changes. It's not just, "I don't know what you mean." It's, "I don't even know him." Fear will make you deny not only what you believe, but who you are. A third person speaks up. "Surely you are one of them. Your accent gives you away." Galileans had a distinct way of speaking. Peter couldn't hide his identity. Cornered, Peter lashes out. He calls down curses on himself and swears, "I don't know the man." And then, the rooster crowed. Luke's gospel adds a heartbreaking detail. At that exact moment, Jesus turned and looked straight at Peter. Imagine that look, not of hatred, but of deep, wounded love. Peter stumbles out of the courtyard and breaks down. He weeps bitterly. This wasn't just regret, it was soul-crushing shame. He had promised to stand by Jesus. He had sworn loyalty, and in the moment it mattered most, he failed. We've all been there. Moments when we didn't speak up, didn't stand firm when fear overpowered faith. After the resurrection, Jesus doesn't hunt Peter down to shame him. Instead, in John 21, Jesus calls Peter to breakfast by the sea. 3 times Jesus asks, "Do you love me?" One for each denial. And each time Peter answers, Jesus responds, "Feed my sheep." This wasn't just forgiveness. It was restoration. Peter wasn't discarded. He was recommissioned. And on Pentecost, the same man would preach to thousands with unshakable boldness. Why did Peter deny Jesus? Because overconfidence, fear, and distance collided in a moment of weakness. But Peter's story tells us, stay close to Jesus. Distance makes denial easier. Pray before the pressure comes. Peter fell asleep in Gethsemane when he should have been praying. Failure is not the end. God can turn your deepest shame into your greatest testimony. Peter's denial was real, but so was his redemption. If you've ever failed God, remember, He's not done with you. Tell me in the comments, do you relate more to Peter's boldness or to his moments of fear? And if this deep dive opened your eyes, subscribe to Insight from Above for more biblical stories that reveal God's heart in His truth. See you in the next video.